उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनचारी जमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद। श्री श्री राधा मदन भगवान की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय। श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा देव की जय। श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा देव की जय। नरसिम्हा चतुर्दशी महामहोत्सव की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. So today is the auspicious occasion of Lord Narasimhadev's appearance day or NriSimha Chaturdashi. So we are going to discuss about Lord Narasimhadev and his dear disciple Prahlad Maharaj. So before that, we'll do Mangalacharan, then we'll move ahead. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate वासुदेवाय ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Tam Sajivam Savdaitam Savdhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priya पञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नमिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे Hare Krishna. So today is the auspicious occasion of Lord Narasimha Dev's appearance. So how Lord Narasimha Dev appeared? What was the uh, prevailing situation? What led to his appearance? We'll discuss about all those. And we also will glorify his dear devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. So this is in line with um, the discussion that took place between Parikshit Maharaj and his spiritual master Sukhdev Goswami in the context of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit Maharaj inquired from his spiritual master, my dear Brahmana, the supreme personality of Godhead, Vishnu, being everyone's well-wisher, is equal and extremely dear to everyone. How then did he become partial like a common man for the sake of Indra and thus kill Indra's enemies? How can a person equal to everyone be partial to some and inimical towards others? So basically the question is whether Lord is really partial or impartial. So with that, the seventh canto, first chapter starts. So as he was asking further, Lord Vishnu himself, the supreme personality of God, is the reservoir of all pleasure. Therefore, what benefit would he derive from siding with the demigods? What interest would he fulfill in this way? Since the Lord is transcendental, why should he fear the asuras? And how could he be envious to them? So these are the questions in the context of the previous discussion that took place in Srimad Bhagavatam. So why he's siding with Indra? Why is he really impartial or partial? So in response to the question of Parikshit Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukhdev Goswami saying, um, Parikshit Maharaj is still asking, oh greatly fortunate and learned Brahmana, whether Narayan is partial or impartial has become subject matter of great doubt. Kindly dispel my doubt. with positive evidence that Narayan is always neutral and equal to everyone. That's what he would like to understand. How is impartial, equal to everyone? One verse says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Gopya kama bhayat kamsa desha chadyayo nipaha sambandha vrishnaya snehat yuyam yuyam bhakta vayam vibho. That means many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This, this great attention may be due to lusty desire, inimical feelings, fear, affection of devotional service. And in response, Sukdev Goswami is saying, I shall now explain how one receives Krishna's mercy simply by concentrating one's mind upon him. So key factor is jena tena prakarana, yani tena prakarana mana Krishna nivesha. As Rupa Goswami says, somehow or the other, our mind should be fixed on Krishna. But always it is beneficial. But the best benefit you will get if you are meditating on Krishna in a favorable way. Then it becomes otherwise, if somebody is inimical or fearfully somebody is remembering Krishna, then the result will be little bit different. They still will attain Krishna or they will get Saujya Mukti or like that. They will get liberated, but they may not get Krishna. So therefore, it is very important to serve Krishna. Always remember him in a favorable mode. So Kamsa, he was fearful of Krishna. Gopis where they had lusty desire. Shishupal and other used their envious. And the Yadus, their familial relationship with Krishna. And then the Pandavas, Narad Muni is saying, you Pandavas, by your great affection for Krishna, and we, the general devotees, by our devotional service, have obtained the mercy of Krishna. So, different people, different devotees, in a different way, they have attained the mercy of Krishna. So, this context came because there is a story within the story. There's Parikshit Maharaj and Sukdev Goswami were discussing. Sukdev Goswami, while answering, he took the context of the Rajasuya Yuddha which took place and where Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking similar question from Narad Muni. And Narad Muni was answering. Uh, the same question was asked whether Krishna is partial or impartial. Now, while answering, Narad Muni went to old story. And this is the story of Jai Vijay. Jai and Vijay, they were the two gods in Vaikuntha. And there are 7 gates. And those 4 Kumaras, the eldest sons of Brahma, they were traveling in different places. And they wanted to visit Vishnu. So they crossed through all the 6 gates. And in the seventh gate, when they came, they are stopped by Jai and Vijay. Because these 4 sons of Brahma, they are completely naked. And they look like 5 years old, even though they are eldest sons of Brahma. And Jai Vijay, as they stopped, these 4 Kumaras, they cursed him, cursed Jai and Vijay that you descend to the material world and become demons. And they had to do this for, they had to be demons for 3 lifetimes. So, in the first lifetime, Jai Vijay took birth as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakshipu. And in the second birth, they came as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And in the third life, they came as Shishupal and Dantala. So in first time, they were killed by Lord Narasimhadev, Hiranyakshipu, and Hiranyakshipu was killed by Lord Varahadev. And Lord Ramchandra, later on in the next uh, incarnation, he killed Ravana Kumbhakarna, and Krishna killed Shishupal and Dantala. That is. So Hiranyaksha was causing a lot of disturbance, and the demigods approached Lord. Then Lord wanted to resolve the issue. So he came in the form of Baraha avatar, and he killed Hiranyaksha. And when Hiranyaksha was killed, Hiranyakshipu became very inimical towards Lord Vishnu. Now Hiranyaksha was killed, so he first wanted to console his relatives. His relatives means his uh, sister-in-law, uh, basically his Hiranyaksha's wife Rashavanu, then his mother Diti, and his nephews, the sons of Hiranyaksha. So to all of these people, he was trying to basically console them. And there he showed his Vedic knowledge. He had perfect Vedic knowledge in terms of body and soul. He says exactly as it is there in the scripture, Vedas and Bhagavad Gita. But there are some misses here and there. Basically, when he understood the fact, I mean, it's not like if you talk Lord Krishna or Vishnu, the Supreme, then you don't talk about killing him immediately. But that's the flaw out there. Whatever he was saying, he was not following. If he's saying Supreme Lord is not partial usually, but this time he sided with the Devatas. So therefore, I am going to kill him this time. So this is not logical. Then how can you say he is Supreme Lord? Hmm. So anyway, he consoled uh, his relatives, and then he thought, I need to have extra power to kill Vishnu. Basically, I want to be Amar or deathless. So with that intention, Hiranyakashipu tried to become immortal. So he went to Mandarachal, a mountain called Mandarachal. And on top of that mountain, he started doing meditation. It was very, very intense meditation. Everybody cannot do that. For 1,000 years, he was just standing on his toes, looking upwards, spreading his hands. He was meditating. Then the situation became so intense that fire was coming out of his head. Everybody became very restless. So demigods went to um, Brahma and told about what was happening. There are a lot of disturbances are there in the universe. So then Lord Brahma came to see Hiranyakshipu. Now Hiranyakshipu was doing this meditation, and because of that, his body was eaten up by ants and other insects. So basically, he was having skeleton, and with yogic power, he was um, surviving by uh, putting his life air within his bones. That he was surviving. Um, so now he, when he was in extreme austere situation and his body was initiated, only the more than initiated, just bones are there. Lord Brahma appeared there, and he then threw some water from his Kamindali water pot on him, sprinkled some water, and then Hiranyakashipu got back his radiant body. Hmm. very youthful body, very, very strong. And then he asked for some benediction from Lord Brahma. So he wanted to be deathless. Then Brahma said, I myself is not deathless. How can I give you this benediction? Then he put some conditions. He want to checkmate death by putting different conditions. So he said, I should not be killed by any one of your, any of the living entities created by you. I should not be killed by, human beings, demigods, the big snakes from the Patal Loka. I should not be killed in the daytime or night. I should not be killed inside or outside. I should not be killed by any weapon. I should not be killed in the sky or water or land. So neither by any beast or neither by any human being. Mm. I should not be killed at daytime or nighttime. So that way, he wanted to checkmate death. And he also asked for many basic power. So then Lord Brahma gave all the benedictions to him. And then Hiranyakashipu came back. And he started causing havoc everywhere. So he um, actually instructed all his associates to go and cause trouble to the Brahmanas, to the cows, to the trees, big trees. And basically, he wanted to make the status quo upside down. Means consider those who are good as bad and bad as good. Give punishment to the good people or Brahmanas and all because they're serving the demigods and Vishnu, and give rewards to the demoniac. That's what demonic people do. So um, Hiranyakashipu got all the powers to control all the directions. So except the three demigods or Brahma, Vishnu, Lord Shiva, everybody else down out there was serving his praises and all. They are serving. And he was the Lord of entire universe, almost basically. Sarvalok and lower planetary system, everywhere he had his command. And by his, you know, the wink of his eye, blink of his eye, he can get any. If he wants rain, rain will come. If he wants jewels, the oceans will provide jewels to him. Even the land will provide grains without even cultivation out of fear. So that was his power. And he started creating a lot of trouble all around the universe. Then the demigods came very, very low. And then they approached Lord and told about this problem. And then Lord said, when one is envious of the demigods who represent the supreme person of Godhead of the Vedas, which give all knowledge of the cows, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and religious principles, and ultimately of me, the supreme person of Godhead, he and his civilization will be vanquished without delay. So when the Krishna is Go Brahmana is that, Brahmana Divai, Go Brahmana is that. So if we don't uh, take care of those entities, or rather, if somebody causes trouble to the Brahmanas and cows, one will be vanquished. Or even Vaishnavas, everybody, these people are dear to Lord. Whether if somebody is causing any disturbance, trouble to these entities, then Lord will vanquish them. So Lord gave them assurance, saying that when Hiranyakashipu will tease his great devotee son Prahlad, at that time I will appear and I will kill Hiranyakashipu. So then the demigods became very, very assured, confident. It's a matter of time now, otherwise the Hiranyakashipu is dead. Now, Hiranyakashipu's 5-year-old son, Prahlad Maharaj, was having many, many good qualities with him, many, many good qualities of Vaishnava. Yes, all good qualities are always found existing in the Supreme Person of Godhead. They also exist forever in the devotee Prahlad. He had all the right qualities. He was always absorbed in the thought of Krishna and has been always embraced by the Lord. He didn't know how his bodily necessities such as sitting, walking, eating, lying down, drinking and talking were to automatically perform. So that's what happens when somebody is totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness. All these activities happen as if automatically, by the grace of Lord. Then, as he was a very advanced devotee, sometimes he used to laugh, sometimes express jubilation, sometimes he used to cry, sometimes he used to sing loudly. All these symptoms of a pure devotee were manifested in him. We can see those behaviors in Lord Chaitanya also. So Lord Chaitanya is not himself, but he manifested his devotee pastimes in his incarnation. So then, Yudhishthira Maharaj was inquiring from Narad Muni, how is it possible for a father to be so violent toward an exalted son who was obedient, well behaved, and respectful to his father? He's just saying, I have never heard of such a contradiction as an affectionate father punishing his noble son with the intention of killing. Extreme. So kindly dissipate our doubt in this regard. So father is very affectionate towards his son, and the son is also very noble son. Then sometimes the father might chastise. But here is the extreme case. Here the father is chastising in such a way that he is trying to kill Prahlad Maharaj, his son. So what is the reason behind that? That's what Yudhishthira Maharaj was inquiring from Narad. So in that context, Narad Muni was answering, and he was telling that Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, he was being taught by Shandanama. So Hiranyakashipu gave the service of teaching Prahlad Maharaj. Shanda and Amata, the two sons of Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the Acharya of the demons. He is very revered by the demons. And he had these two sons, Shanda and Amata. So Prahlad Maharaj was given to them for education. So what kind of education were they giving to him? Prahlad certainly heard and recited the topics of politics, economics taught by the teachers. But he understood that political philosophy involves considering someone a friend and someone else an enemy. And thus he didn't like it. So basically, it's a friend and enemy program. This person is my friend and that person is my enemy. This is called friend and enemy program. We can see this in politics. Do good to the friends and do harm to the enemies. That's what we see always, all around. All the political minded people, they do these things. And that's what being taught by Shanda and Amarta to Prahlad Maharaj. So, once upon a time, the king of the demons Hiranyakshipu took his son Prahlad on his lap and very affectionately inquired, "My dear son, please let me know what you think is the best of all the subjects you have studied from your teachers." So this is very natural. When the child is going to the school, father affectionately may inquire from the child, "What have you learned? What is the best thing you have learned from the school?" So it looks like very innocent. Nothing wrong is going on over here. But Prahlad is not a ordinary child. And also he is a fearless. And he expresses that you are the best of the demons. He knows it. He knows the power of Hiranyakashipu. But at the same time, he is fearless. He, first of all, to know this knowledge at that age is almost next to impossible. But Prahlad Maharaj had that knowledge. Not only knowledge, it was realized knowledge. And he is telling this fearlessly to his father, who is extremely against that kind of preaching. But he was fearless. It's not like we need to imitate Prahlad Maharaj, but we can appreciate how fearless he was. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Shri Prahlada Uvacha Tat Sadhu Manne Asuravarya Dehinam Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asadgrahat Hitmatma Patam Grihamandha Kupam Vanam Gato Yat Harim Ashayeta. Prahlad Maharaj was telling his father, "O best of the Asuras, king of the demons, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety because of having fallen in a dark well where there is no water, only suffering. So that is the grihastha life, only suffering. One should give up the position and go to the forest. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavan, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent, and should thus take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead by going to Vrindavan. So then Narguni continued. So Prahlad Maharaj spoke about self-realization in devotional service, and thus being faithful to the camp of father's enemies, Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu, the king of the demon, heard Prahlad's words and he laughingly said, "This is the intelligence of children spoiled by words of enemy." So first time he took it lightly. It is nothing but child's intelligence. He got spoiled by the enemies. So he advised his assistants, "My dear demons, like Shanda and Amarka, give complete protection to this boy at the Gurukula where he is instructed, so that his intelligence will not be further influenced by Vaishnavas who may go there in disguise." So there some Vaishnavas may come in disguise and they may preach Prahlad Maharaj. So give protection to Prahlad Maharaj from those people. So then Chanda and Avarka, they took Prahlad Maharaj back to Gurukul and very gently they were asking, "Dear son Prahlad, all peace and good fortune unto you." What kind of good fortune and what kind of peace we'll see very soon. But they are giving blessings. Kindly do not speak lies. We want to know the truth. Just reply with the truth. These boys, means his classmates and all, these boys you see are not like you. You are exceptional. For they do not speak in a deviant way. They are on the right path, you are a deviant. So they don't speak in a deviant way. How have you learned these instructions? Where from you learned these instructions? You just tell us. We want to know. How has your intelligence been spoiled in this way? So basically, he wants to know the teacher or the source from which he got this knowledge. And once that is told to the demons, then there is no respite. They will go after that person. So why should Prahlad Maharaj tell? So he didn't tell. He only told that much for which they cannot do anything. So Prahlad Maharaj said, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with the living entity because of his devotional service, one becomes a Pandita. Pandita Samadarshina, as you see in the in Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, 518. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmane Kavyastane, Sunicheva Sapakacha, Pandita Samadarshina. So one person who is a learned person, he sees everybody in equal vision. But demons cannot do that. But elevated devotees, they can do that. Like Prahlad Maharaj. So one becomes Pandita and does not make distinction between enemies and friends and himself. So intelligently, he then thinks every one of us is an eternal servant of Lord or eternal servant of God. And therefore, we are not different from one another. We are part and parcel of Krishna, all the living entities. That way, we are not different from each other. But those who always think about friend and enemy, they are unable to ascertain the super soul within themselves. Not to speak of them, even such exalted persons as Lord Brahma, who are fully conversant with the Vedic literature, are sometimes bewildered in following the principles of devotional service. Sometimes even Brahma can get bewildered. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has created this situation, has certainly given me the intelligence to take the side of you, so-called enemy. So it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who decides what to do. Now, Shanda and Amarka became very angry. They started telling, okay, bring the stick, means I am going to torture Prahlad. You are saying good fortune unto you, happiness unto you, just little while ago. Now he's saying, bring the stick. Oh, please bring me a stick. This Prahlad is damaging our name and fame because of his bad intelligence. He has become like a cinder in the dynasty of the demons. Now he needs to be treated by the torture of the four kinds of political diplomacy. So the political diplomacy is Sam, Dam, Dandabhed, right? This is a political diplomacy. Sam means to give some advice, and through that you try to manipulate somebody. Dam means to basically give some money or something, try to bribe somebody or something like that. Dam. Danda. Danda is a kind of fourth or last resort. Uh, One is Bhed. Bhed means to divide and rule, divide and conquer, to create some differences within the group and let them fight with each other. So that is another way. And last is Danda. Danda means when somebody is not listening, then punish that. So these are the demoniac ways of controlling things. And that's what being taught in the school of demons. So now they are saying, bring the stick, we are going to hit Prahlad Maharaj to teach him lesson. And then they went on. He is like a thorn in the forestry, in the forest of sandalwood, and to cut down sandalwood trees, an axe is needed, and the wood of the thorn tree is very suitable for the handle of such an axe. Lord Vishnu is the axe for cutting down the sandalwood forest of the family of demons, and this Prahlad is the handle for that axe. So that's what they are saying. Vishnu has planned in this way. He is the axe, and he is going to use Prahlad as his handle to cut down this demon's family, demonic family. Now, they were trying to teach Prahlad Maharaj in their own way. So after some time, when they thought Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently trained, they again took Prahlad Maharaj to Hiranyakshipu. And then Hiranyakshipu saw his child, and Prahlad Maharaj was falling down on his feet. He was very obedient. He was not thinking, oh, I have a demoniac father, so I am not going to offer obeisances to him. He was doing his duty. So he offered obeisances to Hiranyakshipu, his father. So his father was very pleased. He was very affectionate. So he immediately began showering his blessings upon the child and embraced him with both arms. And a father naturally feels happy to embrace his son, and Hiranyakshipu became very happy in this way. So looks like as if he is a normal father, right? So far, he was embracing his son and let him sit on his lap, and he was dealing with him very affectionately. So then tears were coming, gliding down from his eyes. Hmm? And he was feeling very, very affectionate towards Prahlad Maharaj. And then he asked the same question which he asked before. My dear Prahlad, my dear son, oh long lived one, long lived one. Listen, oh long lived one. Ah, for so much time you have heard many things from your teachers. Now please repeat to me whatever you think is the best of that knowledge. Now you tell me what the best thing you have learned from your teacher. Now Prahlad Maharaj responds. Prahlad Maharaj has the wisdom, even though he is young, he has all the wisdom of a devotee. And he is preaching fearlessly. Now, this time what he's saying about Navavida Bhakti, 9 process of devotional service, or 9 limbs of devotional service. So this verse goes like that. This is very often quoted verse, very important verse. Shri Prahlada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Varanam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Jaksam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsartita Vishnu Bhaktischennavalakshana Kriyate Kriyeta Bhagavate Adbha Tanmanne Adhitam Uttamam. So this is very, very important verse for devotees. What he's talking about is about 9 limbs of devotional service, or 9 process. What are those? Hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam. Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name. And not only holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes. Just like today we are discussing over the pastime of Lord. And it is also bringing other aspects, name and qualities, all this. So all this need to be chanted. Remembering them, remembering Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatoshi. Sarva vidhi nishadachar etareva kinkara. This is the ultimate instruction of all Vedic literature. And interestingly, Prahlad Maharaj is the Acharya of Smaranam, means he made his life perfect, successful and perfect by the process of Smarana, always remembering Krishna. So remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. So, in other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. So, these 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. The one who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So, this is mentioned that Parikshit Maharaj perfected his life by following one of the names, that is Shravanam. And Sukdev Goswami perfected his life by Kirtanam, as he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. And Sparanam, or Vishnu Sparanam, was perfected by Prahlad Maharaj. He used to always remember Vishnu. That way, different acharyas are there for different limbs. Now, after hearing these words, or these limbs are such that even one limb can give one perfection. Though we follow multiple limbs, but each limb is so perfect, it can be perfection to others. So after hearing these words of devotional service from the mouth of his son Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry. His lips trembling, he spoke as follows to Sanda, the son of his guru Shukracharya. O unqualified, most heinous uh, son of Brahmana, you have disobeyed my order and taken shelter of the party of my enemies. You have taught this poor boy about devotional service. What is this nonsense? So I told you to keep him away from the devotees. Now he is talking like a devotee. That means the trading is going on by the devotees, and that is happening in your presence. That means you also have sided with the devotees. So that's why he, in thinking in that way, he became very, very angry. Now, son of Shukracharya, Chanda and Amarka, both the sons, they said, whatever your son Prahlad has said was not taught to him by me or anyone else. His spontaneous devotional service has naturally developed in him. And therefore, please give up your anger and do not unnecessarily accuse him. It is not good to insult a Brahmana in this. Now, Prahlad Maharaj, when he was asked by Shanda and Amarka, where from he got it, he said, I got it from Vishnu. Spontaneously, I got it from Vishnu. So after he said like this, they could not do anything. But they had this understanding, spontaneously got it. So that's what they're telling. We didn't teach him, so we are not responsible. So please spare us. And also with the Brahmins, you should not talk like this. You should not insult the Brahmana. Now, Hiranyakashipu received this reply from the teacher. He again addressed his son Prahlad. So Hiranyakashipu said, you rascal, most fallen of your family, if you have not received this education from your teachers, where have you gotten it? Where from you got this knowledge if this is not coming from your teachers? Now, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, basically, what is the use of telling this to you? You won't understand this. But he said this through very nice verses. He said, Matirna Krishne parato sato va mito avipadyeta griha vratanam adanto govir visatam tamishram punah punascharvita charvananam. Very nice verse, very often quoted verse. So he said, because of their uncontrolled senses, adanta govi. Go means sense. Adanta govi means which is not controlled, uncontrolled senses. So because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to the materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions. Vishitam tamishram. They go to the hellish condition and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Punah punah charvita charvinanam. Their inclination toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instruction of others, by their own effort, or by combination of both. So these uncontrolled senses that is causing the problem for the demonic people. Hmm? So because of that, they cannot get develop inclination towards Krishna, attraction for Krishna. Rather, they will chew the chews. Chew the chew means we talk about chewing gum or bubble gum, right? After some time, all the taste goes away, and then people keep on chewing the whatever is left out. Uh, Similarly, if you talk about the sugar cane, if you take out all the juice, then what is the use of chewing that part? No juice will come out. But the materialistic people, they're oblivious of the fact that we cannot get real pleasure in this material world. But they are after it. They're trying, devising different plans to enjoy material life. But that's not going to happen. But they're trying. So when you talk about Hiranyakshipu, he had everything, but he had one problem that his mind was not controlled. And because his mind was not controlled, he got trapped. Hmm? And that's why he was killed. So the point is, through mundane education, one may become very elevated from mundane perspective. But if the mind is not under control, senses are not under control, then what's the use? For sure, they cannot make spiritual progress. It's very important. Any yoga process and all you take, it talks about mind control, sense control. So without the control of mind and senses, one cannot progress in the path of yoga. And once one is having uncontrolled senses, then one cannot, by their own effort, become devotee of Krishna. Neither somebody else can help them, neither in a group of people they can progress together. By their advice also it may not come. Then he said another very nice verse. Nate vidu sartha gatim hi Vishnum durasaya ye bahirarthamanina andhayatande rupaniyamanas teapisha tantram urudam nibadhya. So persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and in the service engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. That is our original business, to engage in the service of Lord. But because of material consciousness, one may end up taking guidance from a person who is also materialistic person and whose vision is blinded. So one blind person is following another blind person. So they will fall in the ditch. And that's what is going on. So as blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into ditch. Materially attached men, led by another materially attached man, are bound by the hopes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering threefold miseries. So they will think that some material manipulation I will do and I will be happy. And with that hope, they keep on engaging in material activity. And at the end, they get frustrated. Then what is the way out? Prahlad Maharaj is saying, unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, completely freed from material contamination, person very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter in the lotus feet of the Lord, in this way can one be freed from material contamination. So we'll have to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And for that, we need to first take the dust from the lotus feet of a devotee who is completely free from material contamination. Then this can happen. Now, then, after Prahlad Maharaj had spoken in this way, and then he became silent. But Hiranyakashipu, blinded by anger, threw him off his lap onto the ground. He was affectionate little while ago. Now he threw Prahlad Maharaj on the ground out of anger. Indignant and angry, his reddish eyes like molten copper, Hiranyakashipu said to his servants, "Oh demons, take this boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible. Immediately kill him. This boy Prahlad is the killer of my brother, for he has given up his family to engage in the devotional service of the enemy, Lord Vishnu, like a menial servant." Then what the Rakshasas, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, do? The demons, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, has began striking the tender parts of Prahlad Maharaj's body with their tridents. Imagine such a tender boy, 5 years old. They're striking him with their tridents, his tender body parts. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, reddish coppery beards and hair, and they appeared extremely threatening, making tumultuous sound, shouting, "Chop him up, pierce him." They began striking Prahlad Maharaj, who sat silently meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, mm, so the demons, the Rakshasas, servants of Hiranyakashipu, thus began striking again and again. So, but as they were trying to harm him, Prahlad Maharaj was always being protected. Now, Hiranyakashipu is saying, I can see this boy's strength is unlimited, for he has not feared any of my punishments. He appears immortal. Therefore, because of my enmity toward him, I shall die. Or maybe this will not take place. So that way, Hiranyakashipu was contemplating. So the demons were trying to torture Prahlad Maharaj again and again, but nothing was happening. He was always protected. And that forced, Hiranyakashipu to think, what's going on? So thinking in this way, the king of the Daityas, morose and bereft of bodily luster, remains silent with the face downward. And then Chanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya spoke to him in secret. Oh Lord, we know that when you simply move your eyebrows, all the commandants of the various planets are most afraid. Without the help of any assistant, you have conquered all the three worlds. Therefore, we do not find any reason for you to be morose and full of anxiety. As for Prahlada, he is nothing but a child and cannot be cause of anxiety. He is a small child. How can he cause so much of anxiety? After all, his bad or good qualities have no value. So they were suggesting until unless Shukracharya, their father, and the Guru comes back, let him arrest with the ropes of Varuna so that he will not flee in fear. In any case, by the time he is somewhat grown up and has assimilated our instructions or served our spiritual master, he will change his intelligence, and thus there need be no cause for any anxiety. Now, when Hiranyakashipu heard that, he agreed. Okay, take him and give further teachings. Now, thereafter, Shanda and Amarka systematically and unceasingly taught Prahlad Maharaj, who was very submissive and humble. Prahlad Maharaj was not protesting. He was very submissive and humble. And Shanda and Amarka was unceasingly teaching him about mundane religion, economic development, and sense gratification. And the teacher Shanda and Amarka instructed Prahlad Maharaj in the three kinds of material advancement called religion, economic development, sense gratification, dharma, artha, kama. So that's what demons are bothered about. So those three things they are teaching to Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad, however, being situated above such instructions, he was already Mahabharata. No? He didn't like them, for such instructions are based on the duality of worldly affairs, which involve one um, in a materialistic way of life, marked by birth, death, old age, and disease. So Prahlad Maharaj, that's why he didn't like it. Now, one opportunity came for him, preaching opportunity. How? So when the teachers went home, Chanda and Amarka went home for some business, they had to take care of some household affairs. So what happens when the teacher is away in the class? The students, you know, start shouting and playing. But that was not the case in case of Prahlad Maharaj. Hmm. So Prahlad Maharaj saw that all his batchmates, students of the same age, he would call him to take the opportunity of leisure hours. uh, I mean, the other kids basically, they were telling, okay, take this opportunity of leisure hours and start playing. That's what the others were telling. But Prahlad Maharaj, who was truly the uh, supreme learned person, then addressed his class friends in very sweet language. Smiling, he began to teach them about the uselessness of the materialistic way of life. And being very kind to them, he instructed them as follows. So at the series of verses he spoke, but the first verse what he spoke was, it is very, very important. Komara charit pragya dharman bhagavatan yaha durlabham manusam janma tad api adhrubam arthadam. Very important words in terms of at what age one should start devotional service or start getting engaged in devotional service. That is Komara at the age of 5 years. This is the verse it is often quoted when this is the question at what age one should start devotional service. So Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. Mm. The human body is most rarely achieved. It's not so easy to get human body. It's very rare. And although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. The animals cannot perform devotional service. Only in human life it is possible. And what is the benefit of doing devotional service? Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So alpamapi dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Little bit of devotional service can save one from great danger, as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So he continued, he gave a series of, uh, he uh, uttered series of verses and he trained his classmates. And then he said, I received this knowledge from the great saint Narad Muni, who is always engaged in devotional service. And this knowledge, which is called Bhagavad Dharma, is fully scientific. And it is based on logic and philosophy and is free from material contamination. Basically, this is transcendental knowledge. So when he said, I heard this from Narad Muni, the sons of demons, they had a doubt. And they replied, Dear Prahlad, neither you nor we know any teacher or spiritual master other than Shandanamarka, the sons of Shukracharya. We know about these two people only. So after all, we have children and they our controllers. They are our controllers. For you special, who always remain within the palace. We may go here and there, but you always remain within the palace. It is very difficult to associate with great personality. So, dear friend, most gentle one, would you kindly explain how it was possible for you to hear Narada? Kindly dispel our doubts in this regard. So, they saw for last 5 years, Prahlad Maharaj didn't go anywhere. He's always staying within the palace. Then how come he had any meeting with Narada Muni? How come he could learn from Narada Muni? So that was their doubt. And Narada Muni is explaining basically to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So although Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of Asuras, he was the greatest of the devotees. Having thus been questioned by his class friends, the sons of the Asuras, he remembered the words spoken to him by me, but by Narada Muni, and replied to his friends as follows. So in Bhagavatam, there is a chapter what Prahlad Maharaj learned in the womb from his spiritual master. So he said, when our father Hiranyakshipu went to Mandarachal, we discussed, Hiranyakshipu went to Mandarachal mountain to execute severe austerity. So in his absence, the demigods took charge of his kingdom. And Indra made a severe attempt to subdue all the demons in warfare. Now, Hiranyakshipu was not there. The demons became weaker. So the demigods took opportunity of that, and they subdued the demons. Alas, as a serpent is eaten by small ants, so the troublesome Hiranyakshipu, who always inflict miseries upon all types of people, has now been defeated by the reactions of his own sinful activities. Saying this, the demigods, headed by King Indra, arranged to fight the demons. They fought with the demons because Hiranyakshipu was not there, their leader was not there, so they are fighting with them. Then Narada Muni said, all the sons of the demons appreciated the transcendental instructions of Prahlada. So he spoke to the sons of demons, his classmates, and they are very happy after hearing from Prahlad Maharaj. And they took them very seriously, whatever Prahlad Maharaj taught them. And they rejected materialistic instructions given by their teachers, Shanda and Amarka. So whatever Shanda and Amarka was teaching, they rejected that. When Shanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya, observed that all the students of the sons of the demons were becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness rather than their mundane knowledge, they are becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness. Because of the association of Prahlad Maharaj, they were afraid. They approached the king of the demons and described the situation as it was. When Hiranyakshipu understood what was going on, he understood the entire situation. He was extremely angry. So much so that his body trembled. Thus, he finally decided to kill his son. No more trial. Now he has to be killed. So Hiranyakshipu was by nature very cruel, and feeling insulted, he began hissing like a snake, trembled upon by someone's foot. His son Prahlad was peaceful, mild, and gentle. His senses were under control, and he stood before Hiranyakshipu with folded hands. According to Prahlad's age and behavior, he was not to be chastised. He was just 5 years old, but he was chastised heavily by Hiranyakshipu. Yet, with staring crooked eyes, Hiranyakshipu rebuked him with the following harsh words. What Hiranyakshipu said after this complaint went to Hiranyakshipu that Prahlad Maharaj was teaching his batchmates and converting them to Vaishnavism. Hiranyakshipu said, "O my impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, O lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you are an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the place of Yamaraj." Means I am going to kill you today. So my son Prahlad, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the three worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you? Now, previously, Hiranyakshipu ordered Prahlad Maharaj to be tortured, and not in a simple way, different ways. He told him to be thrown out of the cliff. He should be administered poison. He should be uh, put into fire, uh, or he should be put under the feet of a mad elephant. He should be struck with sharp weapons. Uh, then different trickery. He should, extreme heat and cold. And then kind of trying to crush him under the big stones, putting him in the pit of snakes, poisonous snakes. All these different ways they tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj. And when it was not successful, then only Chanda and Amarka advised Hiranyakshipu that we can teach him for some time till Shukracharya comes, then we'll see. Because Hiranyakshipu didn't have any choice. But now, as they went for vacation for some time, they are seeing a different result. That's why they came to Hiranyakshipu, and Hiranyakshipu became very angry at him. That where from he is getting this strength? Who is protecting him? So he is asking, my son Prahlad, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the three worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you? I can rule the entire world, but I am not able to rule you. That is a big insult to him. But somebody must be there behind you. Who is that person? Then Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear king, the source of my strength of which you are asking is also the source of yours. It's the same person who is giving energy to both you and me. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only our strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength. So whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior, everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everybody gets energy from the Supreme Lord. And then Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. He is fearless. He is saying on the face of his father, uh, give up this demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised toward everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy within this world. So our mind, which is uncontrolled and misguided, that is our biggest enemy, which is there within our heart. I mean, within us. So if that mind is not controlled, then there is no point of trying to find the biggest enemy outside of us, because the biggest enemy is already within us. So when one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly. So that equal vision should come first, to treat others respectfully. So in the former times, there are many, many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised towards all living entities, means kama, krada, moha, mada, lobha, maha, mada, matsarja. These 6 enemies, if we can conquer over and is equipoised towards all living entities, for him there is no enemy. There is no enemy. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. It's very big teaching. Because of our imagination, we come up with the friend and enemy program. At least one who is elevated, they will not see anybody as friend and enemy. Prabhupada never used to see, neither Prahlad Maharaj. It is others who are not refined, who are conditioned souls. They may think the saintly person is their enemy. But saintly person, he sees everybody with equal vision. Then Hiranyakashipu replied, you rascal, you are trying to minimize my value as if you were better than me at controlling the senses. This is over-intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands. For this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged by those who were about to die. Oh, most unfortunate Prahlada, you have always described a supreme being other than me. He used to think I am the supreme, but you are saying there is another supreme. A supreme being who is above everything, who is the controller of everyone and who is all pervading. That's what you say. But where is he? Is he, if he's everywhere, then why is he not present before me in this pillar? He was showing a pillar and saying, if he's everywhere, then why he's not present in this pillar? Because you are speaking so much nonsense, Hiranyakashipu was saying to Prahlad Maharaj. I shall now sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipable God come to protect you. I want to see it. Now is the time. What Lord Vishnu was mentioning, that when Hiranyakashipu will torture Prahlad Maharaj, at that time he will appear to destroy Hiranyakashipu. Now, being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu was very great in bodily strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words. Cursing him again and again, Hiranyakashipu took up the sword, got up from his royal throne, and with great anger stuck his fist against the column. With his fist, he hit the column. Then from within the pillar came a fearful sound which appeared to crack the covering of the universe. Lot of sound. Oh, my dear Yudhishthira, this sound reached even the abodes of the demigods, like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planets are being destroyed. It was so loud sound. So while showing his extraordinary prowess, Hiranyakashipu, who desired to kill his own son, heard that wonderful tumultuous sound which had never before been heard. Upon hearing this sound, the other leaders of the demons were afraid, and none of them could find the origin of that sound in the assembly, where from that sound was coming. Now, to prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, as Prahlad Maharaj said, so his words must be true. To prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. Lord Nrsimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. While Hiranyakashipu looked all around to find the source of the sound, that wonderful form of the Lord, which could not be ascertained to be either a man or a lion, emerged from the pillar. The amazement, Hiranyakashipu wondered, what is this creature that is half man and half lion? He never saw that before. So Hiranyakashipu studied the form of the Lord, trying to decide who the form of NaraSimha Dev standing before him was. The Lord's form was extremely fearsome because of his angry eyes, which resembled molten gold, his shining mane, which expanded the dimensions of his speech, fearful face, his, his deadly teeth, and his razor sharp tongue, which moved about like a dwelling sword. His ears were erect and motionless, and his nostrils and gaping mouth appeared like caves of a mountain. His jaws parted fearfully, and his entire body touched the sky. His neck was very short and thick, his chest broad, his waist thin, and the hairs on his body as white as the ray of the moon. His arms, which resembled flanks of soldiers, spread in all directions. As he killed the demons, rogues, and atheists with his conch shell, this club, lotus, and other natural weapons. Hiranyakashipu murmured to himself, Lord Vishnu, who possesses great mystic power, has made this plan to kill me. But what is the use of such an attempt? Who can fight with me? Thinking like this and taking up his club, Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord like an elephant. Just as The insect falls forcefully into fire, and the insignificant creatures becomes invisible. When Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord, who was full of effulgence, Hiranyakashipu became invisible. And this is not at all astonishing, for the Lord is always situated in pure goodness. Formerly, during creation, he entered the dark universe and illuminated it by his spiritual effulgence. Sarvadakashay Vishnu, when he entered into the universe, it was dark, but he illuminated the universe with his effulgence. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakshipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Narasimhadev with his club and began to beat him. Lord Narasimhadev, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a great snake. Narada is saying, "O Yudhishthira, O great son of Bharata, when Lord Narasimhadev gave Hiranyakashipu a chance to slip from his hand, just as Garuda sometimes plays with snake and lets it slip from his mouth, the demigods who had lost their abodes and who were hiding behind the clouds for fear of the demon didn't consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. And that similar incident happened when Hiranyaksha and Lord Barahadev were fighting. At that time also, when Hiranyaksha got some upper hand for slight time, it's like Lord created the situation. At that time also, demigods became very fearful. But Lord kind of tries to enjoy that way, as if the opponent is getting some stronghold. He creates such situation. So the demigods became very perturbed. When Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Narasimhadev, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. Fight was going on, making a loud shrill sound of laughter. The supreme personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with his sword and shield, leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved sometimes in the sky, sometimes in the earth, his eyes closed because of fear of Narasimhadev's laughter. He had all this mystic power which he got from Lord Brahma, and he was applying those. He was moving from place to place. As a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Narasimhadev captured Hiranyakashipu, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. As Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here, there, all around, very much afflicted at being captured, Lord Narasimhadev placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs, and in the doorway of the assembly hall, the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the nails of his hand. Shilatanka Nakhalaya. So then Lord Narasimha's mouth and mane were sprinkled with drops of blood, and his fierce eyes, full of anger, were impossible to look at, licking the edge of his mouth with his tongue. The supreme personality of God, Narasimhadev, decorated with a garland of intestines taken from Hiranyakashipu's abdomen, resembled a lion that was just killed an elephant. That has just killed an elephant. So the supreme personality of Godhead, who had many, many arms, he had many arms, first uprooted Hiranyakashipu's heart and then threw them aside and turned toward the demon's soldiers. And these soldiers had come in thousands to fight with him with raised weapons and were very faithful followers of Hiranyakashipu. But Lord Nrsimhadev killed all of them merely with ends of his nails. The hair of Nrsimhadev's head shook the clouds and scattered them here and there. His glaring eyes told the effulgence of the luminous in the sky, and his breathing agitated the seas and oceans. And because of his roaring, all the elephants in the world began to cry in fear. That was the situation. And manifesting a full effulgence and a fearsome countenance, Lord Nrsimha, being very angry and finding no contestant to face his power and opulence, then sat down in the assembly hall on the excellent throne of the king. Because of fear and obedience, no one could come forward to serve the Lord directly. Nobody was daring to approach him. So wonderfully, Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu. What are the benedictions he asked from Brahma? He checkmated all the benedictions. He said he should not be killed by anyone who was created by Lord Brahma. So Lord Vishnu came, Lord Nrsimhadev came, who was not a man, not an animal. That's what another benediction. So that was also not true. Basically, he came in the mixed form as NaraSimha. And then he should not be killed inside or outside. So he was killed in the doorway, which is neither inside nor outside. He should not be killed in the daytime or night time. So he was killed in the dusk time, which is between night and day. And he should not be killed in the land or water. So he was placed on the lap of Lord, neither land nor water nor sky. And he should not be killed by any weapon. So then he was killed by the nails of Lord. So that way, keeping all the benedictions which Lord Brahma had given to Hiranyakashipu, Lord maintained all of those. At the same time, he killed Hiranyakashipu. So one action he may do, but he may perform many purposes. Like he, for the benefit of demigods, killed Hiranyakashipu. He also protected the words of Brahma. None of them went false. He also protected Prahlad Maharaj from torture of Hiranyakashipu. He also protected the prayers of demigods. They wanted protection. And eventually he protected Hiranyakashipu also because he promised that every time I'll go and I'll kill you for 3 lifetimes. And Lord also wanted to fight and enjoy the chivalrous spirit. And for that, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha king to give him that experience. So in that way, there are multiple aspects of it, but all were auspicious. Wherever Lord is there, everything is very auspicious. All the outcomes are very auspicious. So Hiranyakashipu had been exactly like a fever of or fever of meningitis in the head of the 3 worlds. Thus, when the wives of the demigods in the heavenly planets saw that the great demon had been killed by the personal hands of the Supreme Personality of God, their faces blossomed in great joy. The wives of the demigods again and again showered flowers from heaven upon the Nrsimhadev, Lord, upon Lord Nrsimhadev, like a rain. So nobody was trying to approach him, but from above they were showering flowers. That is fine, but nobody was daring to approach him. He was very angry. Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they were also not daring to approach him. At that time, the airplanes of the demigods who desired to see the activities of Supreme Lord Narayana, crowded the sky. The demigods began beating drums and kettle drums, and upon hearing them, the energetic women began to dance. And sorry, angelic women began to dance, while the chiefs of the Gandharvas sang sweetly. So then Narad Muni was saying to Yudhishthira Maharaj, the demigods then approached the Lord. They were headed by Lord Brahma, King Indra, Lord Shiva, and included great saintly persons and residents of Pitraloka, Siddhaloka, Vidyadharaloka, and the planets of the snakes. The Manus approached, and so did the chiefs of various other planets, and angelic dancers approached, as did the Gandharvas, the Charanas, the Yakshas, the inhabitants of Kinnaraloka, the Vetalas, the inhabitants of Kimpurusha and the personal servants of Vishnu like Sunanda, Kumuda. All of them came near the Lord, who glowed with intense light. They individually offered their obeisances and prayers, their hands folded at their heads. So they could offer prayers, but they could not approach close to him, hmm, because they are very fearful. Then what happened? Then Lord Brahma gently encouraged Prahlad Maharaj to go forward, because Lord Brahma was not feeling comfortable. He was feeling very fearful. Even Lord Shiva was not approaching Lord Narasimha because of his anger. So then they gently told Prahlad Maharaj, you go forward and pacify Lord Narasimha. So in a very humble mood, Prahlad Maharaj approached Narasimha, and with his humility and gentle prayers, he pacified Lord Narasimha. And then Lord Narasimha uh, very affectionately cursed with him, put his paws on his head. Affectionately, he licked his body with his tongue. And he wanted to give a lot of benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj, but Prahlad Maharaj was not willing to take it. He is saying, this is not a matter of business between you and me. Lord Narasimha wanted to entice him with a lot of benedictions, but he didn't take any of the benedictions. And that way he pleased Lord Narasimha, because he was not after any material prosperity and all. So then Lord became very, very happy, and then he told him to rule his father's kingdom. And then Prahlad Maharaj ruled his father's kingdom very uh, dedicatedly, always keeping Lord in his mind. So this is the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Narasimha's appearance, and it is very, very auspicious. And Lord gave blessings to Prahlad Maharaj, and that way he became the greatest devotee of Lord. Even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they also think about Prahlad Maharaj in a very high note. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to repeatedly hear the story of Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. He is very fond of hearing story of Prahlad Maharaj and following his footsteps on this auspicious occasion of Lord Narasimha's appearance. We are also getting a little opportunity to hear about great devotee Prahlad Maharaj and his affection, our Lord's affection for Prahlad Maharaj. So with that, we are going to pause over here. Lord Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any question? Mataji?
Hare Krishna, sorry, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, yeah. Actually, you mentioned Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and Yakshas. That was the last. So, who are they actually? I don't know.
Yeah, there are, we know about demigods, and there are some Upadevatas also who are lower than the demigods, like Indra and Varuna. They are the demigods. And there are some Upadevatas also, who are lesser in power, who mostly they stay in the Bhuvar Loka. You know, Bhuloka is where we stay. Then above is Bhuvar Loka, then Swarga Loka. So they mostly stay in the Bhuvar Loka. Some of them are very expert in singing, say the Gandharvas. Some are very expert in dancing, the Apsaras and all. Like that, different kind of Kinnara means what kind of men are they? That's Kinnara. Kim Purusha, as you say for Hanuman. Like that. So different personalities is there. They are definitely more powerful than human being, and they are bestowed with the different qualities. Some are good at trickery, like that. Or some are good at mystic power,
Hmm.
lot of mystic power. All those are bestowed upon them, but they're upadevatas and all like that. So they also have they're very strong. Um, so Duryodhana also fought with I think Chitraratha or somebody, that upadevata, and he was beaten by him. Then Arjuna went and rescued Duryodhana. Like that, there are many that kind of personalities are there who stay in the Bhuvar Loka. Okay,
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Any other question?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. So then, Nrsimha, Vigna Vinashak Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai. Bhakta
Jai.
Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
नरसिम्हा चतुर्दशी महामहोत्सव की जय।
Jai.
जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा।